I want to introduce my players. First up, I have Tazarath, played by.
Cerulean, as
Excellent.
always, an evil paladin.
Excellent. And next, I have Snake and Fixer Upper, played by.
Ryanaga. Snake is a Yuan-Ti sorcerer of the Draconic Persuasion, and Fixer Upper is a half-orc war priest.
Excellent. Uh, then we have Tristan, played by. Will.
Will, and Tristan is our resident kobold wizard.
All right. Then we have Melrath, played by. Eric.
Did you hear me?
No.
Oh, that was weird. Starme827 is playing Melrath, and Melrath is a Dwarven Eldritch Knight.
There we go. And last but not least, we have Bob, played by.
That is Barska, and Bob is a tiefling warlock.
Excellent. So, recounting what happened last time, the party had found Neverlight Grove. The Myconids had asked as a sign of good faith upon entering the grove if they would help them with a problem, which involved taking out a grick and a shambling mound that were um, sapping nutrients out of an area that they grow their food. And the party was able to overcome both creatures through very good tactics. They took a fair bit of damage from the Grick, and the Shambling Mound, I think, barely landed a blow or two, which was particularly excellent. And so, having killed those creatures, the Grick's body was taken over to the Myconid Sovereigns, and there are two of them. One of them, let me grab this. Here it is. Wait a minute. Why are their names not in this? That's hilarious. The organization of this is absolutely baffling. I'm just gonna grab my book because I know where everything is in the goddamn book. Myconids. Nope, too far. Nope. Almost there. Finally, Sovereign Philo, who has invited the party to view the Garden of Welcome and is generally very spacey and creepy. And there is also Sovereign Basidia, who seems to be the more typical Myconid. Sovereign Basidia took the party aside and rewarded them with some items and a scroll of protection versus fiends in exchange for helping them with the Grick. He had also asked the party to do a reconnaissance of the Garden of Welcome because he has been afraid to go in that direction because something seems to be wrong with Philo, and he is afraid that whatever is affecting him may affect him as well. But since you are not mushroom people, Myconids, he has tasked you with that particular job. Now, once again, the party has been particularly clever in addressing the issue because they have used Tristan's owl um, to scout the area. And so, scouting the area.
Wait, I thought it was a bat. When did it change to an owl?
Oh, it was a bat. I'm thinking of somebody else's owl.
I'd rather it be an owl, but whatever.
Oh.
Because owls
A
are
flying creature.
yeah, with dark vision. And actually, because it was particularly important and particularly relevant to exactly where we left off, or we'll pick up today, I'm going to reread some of that description. So, the Garden of Welcome is up on a plateau, and you know, from the level that you're currently at, seeing anything up there would have been difficult to begin with. But there are very, very large zirkwoods that grow up and out, and they further shield the area from view from just about any other plateau anywhere in this Neverlight cave complex. And so, with the bat having flown up and over, I read some descriptions, and I'm going to reread them again. But please be aware that I happen to just like how they put these descriptions. I thought they were very atmospheric, so even though they don't apply, I'm just going to go with it. Low muttering sounds grow louder as you reach the top, turning into a symphony of moans, cries, and hisses. The only light comes from a few glowing mushrooms along the edge, but even in the gloom, you can't miss the source of the sounds. The heads of creatures of a dozen humanoid Underdark races peek out from the ground, mold and fungi growing around them. One voice calls out loudly in Undercommon, a female drow fighting to speak. Please, for your gods of light, kill me! She manages to stir within her living grave, raising a spider medallion half embedded in the bloated growth that was once her hand, and half of her face is rotten and pustulate, a bed for sprouting of scores of tiny mushrooms. The great cedar, trap, she's here, the lady of decay, Zogtamoy! The moans of the garden's victim suddenly take on a new tone of fear as something moves across the foul ground. A disgusting larval creature rises up before the garden, showing only vestigial fungal growths that hint that it might once have been a myconid. The aberrant myconid's voice gurgles and spits as it speaks both aloud and in your minds at once. Are you here for the wedding rehearsal? Brides of the friends of the bride or her intended? No matter. Let the love of the great cedar embrace you as you become one with her chosen, the great body. Now, as all of this happens, and at first only Tristan is aware of it as he is, recounting what is transferred back to his mind, Sereth doubles over and then suddenly stands tall as fungal growths start to sprout from his skull and his eyes go blank. And this is where we're picking up. So at the moment, only Sareth is the nearest presumable threat. Everything that's going on up on the plateau is, geez, I don't know, like a good 150 yards away from you. Wait, maybe it's not quite that much. 10, 20, 30, about 50 feet away from you.
50 feet?
You guys are down, and there's a nearby ramp that leads up to the plateau. And also, please forgive me. I am very congested today, and I'm doing my best, so that's what all the sniffling is about.
I totally understand. I was even worse yesterday.
So I'm going to give you guys. I'm actually going to set a short timer on my phone. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I'll tell you when I start it. And I want a plan of action. And then after that, whether you have a plan or not, I'm going to proceed with the story. Let's see here. 5. Nope, not that one.
Well, I'm completely terrified.
There's no saving Sareth at this point.
Timer started.
Should we throw him over the edge and run?
Oh no, you guys are on the ground level. There's no edge to throw him over. It's a question of sort of whether you fight him, run, rush up to the Garden of Welcome and attack the creature, etc. Like something is clearly happening in this moment, and the question is, do you think that you can have an effect on it? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So at this point,
most of that time was taken up by you
fair
doing
enough. I'll do a 15-second extension. Go.
Thank you. I propose we kill Sareth, get the non-brainwashed shrooms out of here, stool included, and run like.
To where?
What showing?
Well, Blingden Stone was our next stop, it seems.
Yes, Blingden Stone is your next stop. It is rumored that they know the way up to the surface, and they have been known to cooperate with other surface races. The timer has gone off. I'm going to do a quick vote on the only plan that came up. Okay, so if you agree with Chris's plan, click check mark. If you'd like to rush up there and try to stop whatever is occurring, click X. Interesting. Um, I'm curious enough about that to let the person who clicked X explain.
Well, I don't know what's happening. And this could be because I'm coming off of a week where I was gone, but basically we walked into here and there's people growing mushrooms, and then our friend starts growing mushrooms, right?
Um, the fungal or the larval creature up top caused the fungus in the area to have a reaction to it. So, as you can see from looking at Sereth, he has these orange-red mushrooms that are growing out of his skull now. The top part of his skull has exploded open, and the creatures up in the garden, as relayed by Tristan, are there was one thing I forgot to mention in the recap, which was that when you guys arrived, it was mentioned that there was a drow party that had arrived ahead of you, and they'd asked to sort of stay over the night, and the next day, Sovereign Basidia did not see them anywhere, and Sovereign Philo never brought them up again. So now that you've found this drow person up in the Garden of Welcome, you now know what happened at the drow party.
So it seems like this larva thing is causing the fungus, right?
It seems to be causing the problem as far as you can tell.
Yeah.
Now that
Well,
those
I
so-
would
Hmm?
I would either try to find out what's happening and find out if he's the cause of it, or just attack him rather than Sereth, but maybe both of them.
Well, here's my question. Do we know who or what Zugdmoy is?
No, in fact, you do not. You can try to
What
roll
would we roll
religion.
for that?
Religion. And Kyle, since you weren't here last week, anyone who wants to roll a check is going to say so all at once, and then after I've determined everyone who wants to roll, you guys will roll. So everyone who wants to roll religion, just type X in the chat, or if that's fine too. Okay. And I'll count. Am I counting that just for Fixer Upper or Snake as well? I know you have two characters, and
They'll both roll.
okay. Then it looks like the only person who isn't is Bob. So go ahead and roll your religion checks.
Eh.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so everybody's pretty on point with their knowledge. Zugtamoy is a name that you indeed recognize. Um, Give me just a second. Zugtamoy is known as the Demon Queen of Fungi, the Lady of Rotten Decay. Um, Zugtamoy is an alien creature whose only desire is to infect the living with spores, transforming them into her mindless servants, and eventually decomposing hosts for mushrooms and molds and other fungi that she spawns. She is utterly inhuman and can mold her fungoid form into an approximation of a human shape, including the skeletal thin figure depicted in grimoires and ancient art, draped and veiled in mycelium and lichen. Indeed, much of her appearance and manner is that of her servants, a soulless mockery of mortal life in its many facets. Zugtmoy's cultists often follow her unwillingly. Most are fungi infected to some degree, whether through inhaling her mind-controlling spores or being transformed to the point where their flesh and fungus become one. Such cultists are fungal extensions of the Demon Queen's will, and their devotion might begin with the seemingly harmless promises offered by the exotic spores and mushrooms, but quickly consumes them body and soul. She shares a layer of the abyss with Jubilex, plus her mutual insatiable hunger has made the two demon lords mortal enemies, each devoted to destroying and ultimately devouring each other.
So is this the larva thing that's up there?
Oh no, 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 no. That is absolutely not Zugtamoy. In fact, I think I might be able to just pull up a picture of her real quick. And let me try one more thing.
So where is she though? Like in relation to us? Did we meet her before? Yeah.
Mm-mm. As far like she is present somewhere, presumably within this area, but well, yes, abroad would be the person to ask about her location. So I'm looking through images and maps right now to try to find.
Who the hell is Yestabrod?
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Oh,
names I'm not understanding.
the
Are
larval
people with us right now?
the larval creature up top. The current location, and actually I can just bring up the fucking map. Let me do that. Maps. Out of the abyss. Nope. Maps. Neverlake Grove. All right. Here's the map. You guys are all here. You can even see Sereth on the ground. You can see up to about, I'm going to draw a circle. This is the garden in question. And actually, well, I'll go ahead and do it. There we go. That Y right up there, that is the larval creature. Its name is Yestabrod. And so there's a bunch of stuff going on up there, and you guys are down on the plateau below. Does that help you with matters?
Okay.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
then there's one more thing that I can do here. Now I've made Sareth hostile, so he stands out. He was literally standing with you guys when all this went down. So I covered all that stuff, and then the only other thing I have to do is make good on my monsters. See,
So is Sareth basically hostile now? Is he attacking us?
he's about to, but
Okay.
I need to make that happen first. Nope, that's not it. Wow, this is very
So since we
frustrating.
know about Zugtm, do we know how powerful she is? Is she? You're saying she's a demon lord, like Demogorgon
Mm-hmm.
level? Oh
So
shit.
it's a little bit difficult to rank them exactly. I'm doing a quick roll through here. Um, okay, okay, okay. So let me put it this way. First of all, these demon lords in Dungeons and Dragons, demons are chaotic evil. Okay, they all they all sit in various levels. I think of the abyss, and they are distinct from devils, which are lawful evil, and they all occupy a different space. Now, as far as power levels, because you guys got a decent roll and you've already sort of identified Demogorgon, um, Demogorgon is more powerful overall than Zugtamoy. Um, he is tied for most powerful demon lord of all. What makes him a demon lord is the fact that he is a demon so powerful that he rules an entire level of the abyss. The abyss is just a extra planar location, which just goes deeper and deeper and deeper into endless evil. That is the theme. Um, so yeah,
So so essentially, Zugtmoy is powerful enough to rule a layer of the abyss in her own right. Am I correct in assuming we would be boned if we tried to attack her directly?
at this particular moment, yes. However, it is a question in the moment, and I don't know if I've done a decent job of explaining this, and sorry if I haven't, but the events that are occurring right now are strikingly similar to the events that were occurring when you were in
Mm-hmm.
Sloobdeldop, where a ritual was taking place to summon Demogorgon. And so last time you failed to prevent Demogorgon from entering the world, in fairness, because you had no idea what the fuck was happening, right? If you had known, you would have just focused and actually prevented the occurrence. But here, all of this fungus, all of this Garden of Welcome nonsense, it's all reacting to this particular creature, and even Sereth is being affected. So the question is, do you think that there is yet another ritual occurring to bring the creature here? Is she already here? And because if she's already here, fleeing seems like the best option. Because yes, she is many, many times more powerful than you are. Or if she isn't here, trying to prevent or slow down her entry to this world would be a very important thing, because all demon lords seek to consume the material plane, and if they can, they will forever unbalance the universe in terms of the forces of good versus evil. Because right now, good, evil, neutrality, all of those different forces are in absolute balance with one another, because the prime material plane is a place where good and evil exists. And then if the demon lords enter the prime material plane, which is the plane that you occupy, and conquer the world, then it's another place where evil reigns and good will fall, and eventually the whole universe will be evil.
What's the downside?
I mean, then we could get up to the top, right?
I will reluctantly concede that we don't have enough info right now.
Right, but you do need to think of something to do right now, because I am about to have at least Sereth attack you, and then at that point you'll either need to fight him or run. And if you fight him, then you'll need to determine if you go up to challenge Yestabrod or run.
All
Because he
right. Do we
might be
think yes?
chatty.
Do we think Yestabrod is the source of the ritual that brings what's her name in?
Oh, I'm absolutely positive.
I am too. So I think it's probably worth trying to eradicate Yestabrod before the ritual takes place.
Okay.
Or
It's
At
definitely
the,
worth a try.
at the
Also,
least, he's making mushrooms grow out of our friend's head, so.
do keep in mind that I am almost positive that we are early, because remember, he was like, you should come tomorrow and you should
Mhm.
see the grand ceremony. And we decided, no, we're going to go spy on your ass tonight.
Yeah, that's a very excellent point.
Is there a way that we could incapacitate Sereth and focus on the other dude?
You might, but the problem is that his brain is now fungus.
Yeah, we've tried to
Oh,
keep this
so
guy with us for a
there's
long time. It's time to
there's no
let the
going
mushroom
back from
stop.
that.
Yeah.
Also, let me just throw something out there, because I was talking with Eric about this, and I don't think that there's a harm in mentioning it. So, the inclusion of all these NPCs, I know you guys love some of them. Only two have a written potential for a good ending. So the intention here is that their numbers are supposed to make some of the really challenging encounters that you come across doable. But then as you guys level up and outlevel those characters, they fall off as all of these written end things occur. So in Sereth's particular case, I'm just gonna break the fourth wall here and tell you he's done for. If you want to try to incapacitate him and hope that he can live with the Myconids in some capacity, I'm okay with that. But just don't go too far out of your way.
Okay, let's kill him.
Okay, so I believe that the plan is you guys are going to attack Sereth. Once he's dealt with, incapacitated, or killed, you're going to go after Yestabrod and whatever else is up there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the way to go.
Give me just a
Yes.
second. I'm going to arrange some stuff here because I got to clean up my screen a little bit here. Close that. Wait a minute. I don't. Oh, actually, this works out perfectly. Let me move this over to here, and then I can close that. All right, so what I'm going to do, everybody roll initiative. Whatever initiative you roll, we're going to keep into the fight with Yestabrod. Uh,
Do do I win? Me and Snake.
uh, there we go. Sorry, I meant to go like that. There we go.
I'm not last.
Okay, now that I've got that all taken care of, um, let me see one more thing. Oh, Oh. Okay. Um, delete and then there.
Where is Bob here? I don't see him.
Bob. Oh, Bob. Grab Bob and place.
Am I still shrunken?
No.
Good.
Let's not go down that road today.
There we go. They changed Sareth's creature token.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was a nice touch. Anyways, so first up, Bob. Sareth has just had fungus sprout out of his head. He looks at the party with a blank expression and raises his fists.
But doesn't say anything?
No, but his brain is fungus now. He might be incapable of speech.
Well, can I throw a rock at him or something?
If you're trying to incapacitate him, you just have to say whatever attack you're doing is intending to incapacitate. Oh. Oh, okay. He succeeded. So
The
So
fungus
wait,
brain benefited him apparently.
apparently. So you still roll damage. It's just half damage.
okay, is that going to be auto-calculated?
hmm
Oh, I didn't do it on him, sorry.
Then do it on him, please, and we'll see if
Oh.
that works. If not, this might be a mild pain in the ass. There we go. Wow. So just now that he's dead, I want you to know that he has a -2 to his wisdom saving throw, and he rolled a 20. And so he got an 18, but your DC was 17. So like literally, he had like a 10% chance or less of succeeding against Mind Spike, and he is just annihilated. Without a brain, there's nothing left to keep his mind together. His head just explodes. Fungus rains out in various directions, and he just falls over backwards. And
This is for the unwanted kissing.
Actually, right.
No means no, Sarah. So, with that out of the way, I have to delete this yes to broad token because I have to
Ooh.
grab him from.
I'll add him
I have-
to the dead NPC if I can.
Oh, yeah. Where did I? It's.
I'll never let go, Sareth.
Go ahead and do that. I think I made it editable by all. Wait.
It's not. It's locked.
Oh, notes. Dead NPCs. Oh, it's public, but it's owned by me. That's why. Sareth. Died by demonic fungus / mind spike. There we go. All right, so that's out of the way. Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do. I think I have to go like this. There we go. Oh, okay. I see how that works. All right, so I'm going to move to there, and then I also have to go. So what I'm going to do is, thanks to the fact that you guys have a scout up there, I'm going to reveal a whole bunch of the plateau above. Oh, Jesus, close that. Go like this. Does that get it? Perfect. Okay. So with that out of the way, we're going to continue in turn order. So Snake will simply make his normal movement. You guys really have a small drawing mode. This particular square that I was trying very hard to draw inside of and did a shitty job of. Sorry. This square is only 5 feet wide. So like there's this one spot
It's a
where,
choke point. Okay.
yeah. It also matters a lot because anybody down, say, here in these 4 squares can't see up to the platform. So if you're intending to do ranged attacks, be aware that you're going to have to move up onto the platform and then attack from up there. If you have any questions about whether a space can be occupied, please ask me before moving to it, and we will move right along. So again, because you guys have a scout up there, bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, so that is the state of affairs up on the plateau. Snake, you are fully aware of the layout up there, so it is your turn. Please make your decisions.
I'll just remind you, I've got boots of speed, so I can just dash up there and hold the door open for everybody, as it were.
Mm-hmm. And actually, while you're waiting for your turn, quickly review the boots of speed and how they work so that you take appropriate actions.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex, can you do a range calculation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Snake targeting. Who do you want to target?
The Drow Spore Servant 1, closest one.
Okay. That is the woman mentioned in the description. If you mouse over Snake, you can see a damage or a distance calculation.
Wow, that's just 50?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because it's diagonals. I see.
Yeah, diagonals still count only as 5 feet in this edition.
So, even though I can't really see, can I hurl a fireball up there?
No, because you yourself do not have line of sight. And most importantly, again, I know that it isn't very well explained. Wait, there was an image. Let me see if I can find something super quick. Artwork. No. Portraits other. Mm-mm. That's gonna be useful later. There's what did I call that? Zerkwood. No, 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 no. There's a picture in my book that I can see that shows the terrace, and it shows that the fungus comes out from it in a particular way that even if you had line of sight, you wouldn't have line of effect
Mm-hmm.
because fireball goes in a straight line.
Okay.
So again, the entire point is they made it so that you absolutely cannot, cast up there from down on the ground.
Does that move okay?
Yes, that's fine because
All right.
the only space you can't be is directly in the center of that fungus.
Okay.
Now, you can also use your action to do a dash, which continues your movement for another.
If I were to use a bonus action right now, say Misty Step, which I have, that takes me 30 feet to an unoccupied space I can see. Now, can I see the platform entrance?
I'm sorry, what is it about 30 feet?
I have to be able to see it, but I can teleport.
Oh, you can see enough onto the platform to teleport. Let me create a little draw square. There's
Was it
5 foot.
okay to there?
You could move to that square through teleport.
All right.
Actually, technically, you can also choose to move to this square because you can occupy that too.
What about the one below that, or is that not on the platform?
This one here?
No, the one to the left,
Here.
right. That one, yeah.
That one is also a place that you can teleport to. Keep in mind that when it comes to getting up onto this platform, because this is a choke point, any character occupying this space counts as difficult terrain if an ally wants to move through them. You can
Okay.
still move through occupied squares, but you'll slow down everybody by being in that square.
Well, I think teleporting and shooting
Except
a fireball is probably worth it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the.
Are you going
I
to go to
moved.
here or
Yeah.
here?
To where you were, yeah. That's
Yeah.
where I'm teleporting to with Misty Step, and then I'm going to shoot a fireball.
Okay, I'm
Could
just
you
gonna.
actually go to the one up and one to the left so it doesn't block off anyone?
All right. I mean, I don't really want to get closer, but okay.
I'll be up there to block enemies pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you can get
Oh
up there.
no, trust me, you will. You will.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and actually, there's one other. Whoop, let me I'm gonna have to move you for a second so I can grab this thing. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry. Grab that and move that there. I mean, furthermore, Chris could actually probably occupy this square with relative ease if he didn't want to be aggressive, um, and it would also prevent anyone from really getting at you. Delete this.
With the boots, I can get to the spot just to the
What, here?
yeah,
Okay.
and I would still have a attack after that.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to move this aside for now. You're in position now, so you can cast Fireball. So why don't you create the um, circle so that you can figure out what squares it affects and you can move it around.
Oh, I'm drawing here. How do I get out of that? Oh, okay. I don't remember how to create squares. Sorry.
Oh, so when you right click, there's something that says pointers.
Mhm.
It's in
Oh, okay.
the
There we go.
northwest.
Draw a square. And what is it? I'm sorry, I'm not looking at what Fireball does right now.
It should be a 20-foot circle.
20 feet?
Yeah.
Did
20-foot
already-
radius. So it's actually, oh, it's a circle. Lame.
It's 40 feet.
Yeah, it's 20-foot radius.
I believe the words "burn, baby, burn," Disco Inferno are coming to mind.
Yeah, because that's 20 feet right there. That's a
Okay.
big ass circle.
It
So,
is, and I think you can probably get all of them.
yeah, how do I move it?
When did you pick up that spell? That's
Fireball?
awesome. Yeah.
We
It's
just
level
leveled
3.
recently.
If you want to
Yeah.
pick it up, you have to go to the center of the circle where the 20 is written, and a square will
Okay.
appear, and then you drag
All right.
that around.
Okay. That looks to have everyone. All right. And I can't see like some sort of altar or ritual thing from here that I couldn't see down there that
Oh,
maybe would be bad to destroy.
no, there is nothing ritualistic
Okay.
beyond that. There is one more thing that I want to show you very quickly. Um, so now that you are here, because
Mhm.
you're on this plateau, you can see. Can I share this with a single person? Nope. Share with preload image. I'm just going to share it. From here beyond, there is a massive mushroom. It is huge. You heard mention earlier of Yigmorgus, the world shroom, and this seems to be it. Um, ah, we have someone in chat who is super useful, and the little dragon link. Oh, I see. He's teaching me how to use the program as we're playing. I like it. Anyways, you can
Okay.
see that beyond. You can hear sounds from that chamber beyond, so it seems like whatever's going on is in there. So you might want to finish up here as quickly as possible. Anyways, for the time being, you have your target. So let me very briefly target everyone for you. Two, whoops, target, target, and target. Okay, wait a minute. There we go. You're good to cast.
I can just roll this in the window.
Yes, it should work if you roll it in the chat window. Do a cast in the chat window. Yeah, I guess I'll just do it like that. It's fine. Let's see. Failure,
One
failure, failure.
success.
One success. That's really good. Um,
Okay.
okay, so go ahead and roll your damage. Wow. One, two, three. You have just killed everyone except for Yesterbrod and the Trial Spore Servant closest to you.
Nice jorb.
Poor
Your
woman who
fireball.
wanted to die, you couldn't kill her.
I know, right?
Great
Uh,
gerb.
typing in- Oh. So your fireball lances across the battlefield, and the pinprick of light blossoms into a fireball of death. It consumes and eradicates three different spore servants. They are now ash and charred corpses. Yestabrod took damage, but doesn't look like he's toppled over, and the one remaining drow servant is in very bad shape. Um, she's still smoldering. So next is Tristan because everyone else is dead.
I'm going to I'm going to ask for consent before I do it. Do you want 10 turns of haste, Tezrath?
You know what? That would be tremendously useful.
Uh, Tazrath, are you aware of the downsides of haste?
What is the
Hopefully the battle
downside
be
of
over
haste?
by then.
Yeah, the super short version of it is, first of all, this is concentration for up to a minute, so he's right. That's 10 rounds. Um, when the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn, as a wave of lethargy sweeps over it. So, in the event that Tristan loses concentration, you would lose an entire round of actions.
Mm,
It's worth it, in my opinion.
you're just trying to get me killed again.
Well, there's easier
No,
ways
I
to
want
do
you
it.
to actually, get some kills, so
You
I'm
get
not the only one who
plus
gets
2
kills.
AC and a bunch of other good stuff and can attack twice, take 2 actions. It's great.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
actually, technically, um, according to extra attacks, let me pull this up. Extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. So you have 2 actions. You have 2
Unfortunately,
actions.
haste says when you take the attack action, when you use haste, you can only use one weapon attack only.
Oh, okay. So you'll get basically 3. You get your double on the first one, and then you get a third.
That's still good.
It is.
Anyway, would you like good touch?
You know what? Yeah, make me a speedster.
Kobold believes very firmly in consent before doing so. Tristan is casting.
So what I want you to do is grab the effect from your spell's cast area and drop it on Tazrath, either on the battlefield or on the combat tracker. You did it. Okay, so it's going to start counting down now. So, Tristan, are you going to move after having cast?
Yep, done.
Okay, so next up we have Ront. For Sareth! 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Wait a minute. What? Why is he targeting Snake? I don't know, but that's over now. So Ron rushes forward. Spider bait. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm just glad he never made out with me. Fargus. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He doesn't have anything to add. Tazareth, you are up. Let me check something. If I check the dragon, go to main.
Your speed is doubled, by the way.
So it's 60.
And with the boots of speed, is it increased further to 90 or to 120?
What does the boot speed say? Inventory.
Let me.
Doubles your walking speed.
120 then.
Wow.
So it doubles my walking speed. I'm just wondering if it's if the modifier is additive or multiplicative.
Multiplicative. So
Yeah,
you have
I
60
think it's
feet of
120.
movement. So you get 120. Now the
Get
other
in there, Chris. Start killing things.
Bonus action to click my heels and activate. Meow. Time to chop Yestabrod to pieces.
Okay, go for it.
Let's do. So I've got a triple attack.
Okay. You hit.
Ah. Well, nonetheless. Actually, let me check my Divine Smite thing. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend a spell slot to deal radiant damage, increasing if the target is undead or a fiend. So I'll do that with my second attack,
Okay.
expending a spell slot there. So first, do that. Second attack, do that. And that. So it should be another 11 on top of that. Radiant. Unless
Okay.
he is fiendish, in which case I'll toss another 1d8 in there.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. So Yestabrod has become bloodied. It is now his turn. So
Did the thing do the damage though? Because it didn't actually record the 11 damage issue.
I put the 11 damage on
Okay.
myself.
Time for him to mind control Chris and then have Chris rampage through us all.
That is highly appropriate.
Yep.
Here's what's going to happen
Or make
instead.
out with us all.
Okay. So, now this is a 10-foot radius sphere. Okay. Oops. Pointers. I'm
On save for the win.
gonna have to move him for a second so I can create the sphere. There we go. Okay. So Yestabrod first, he roils and jiggles and his skin erupts, and suddenly spores spread out everywhere in a massive burst. The cloud is incredibly thick, not so thick that you can't see him, but thick enough that he's almost partially obscured. Now, the explosion causes you to suddenly, yelp in surprise, and you inhale some of the spores, but your paladinly resistance to disease and a decent save has protected you. So, with that, Yestabrod takes another action. He uses, he reaches out one of his fungal larval pseudopods and attaches it to the dead corpse of the nearby myconid that died. He suddenly slurps up the corpse and looks a little bit better, and then he shifts 5 feet over and slurps up yet another corpse and looks again a little bit better. So, right, because that doesn't have a thing. And next up is the Spore Servant. Spore Servant decides to teeter on over and try to take on the nearest opponent because it's not super bright. However, this creature was slow to begin with, and with Tazarath's dramatically increased perception of time, he has now just simply dodged out of the way effortlessly with time to spare. Melrath, you are up.
All right, best I can do is dash to that position, and that's my turn.
Okay, Slowpoke. Fixer Upper, you're next.
Guess I'm dashing to here. That's my turn.
Okay. We begin round 2. Bob, you're up.
So how far are we dashing? 30 feet?
No,
No,
it doubles it.
yeah, you double your movement speed for a dash. Uh,
Oh. And each square is 5?
oh, yes.
What about moving through people?
Each square that you have to move through costs double movement. And
Okay.
obviously, you can't end your move on a square occupied by someone else.
Does that include small creatures like spider bait and I?
Mm-hmm.
So I can dash to there, right?
Maybe.
I'd counted it out. Should equal 60.
Yeah, yeah, and you can sort of diagonal to not go through people. Yeah, that's
Can you move?
appropriate.
Can you move diagonally?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
So I just zigzagged it around.
Sure.
Snake, you are up.
Well, I did use some key spell slots last time.
You are currently still targeting Yes Abroad.
I just realized I'm missing a couple of oath spells, so I'm going to add them in quick.
Mm.
All right. I will. No, I can. I have plenty of level 1 spell slots, so I will Firebolt because it's now a 2d10 because I'm level 5.
Okay.
All right, where are you? Wow. Well, it says it's 2d10, so I'll just roll 2.
Oh, I know what the problem is. Actions. Firebolt. And then here. And then grab that. There we go. I fixed it.
Thanks.
I won't do that in future. Spray is 2d12. Poison spray is 2d12, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Ray of Frost and Shocking Grass should both be 2d8.
Correct.
Okay. So here's what I did. If everyone who casts spells can open up their spell sheet real quick. Um, look at Ray of Frost for an example. When you pull it up and you do the magnifying glass, it shows the attack, the save, and the damage. There's a magnifying glass next to the damage. When you pull that up, it will show the number of dice that are rolled. So for Shocking Grasp, when you open up the damage there and you see that die, there's just a little symbol there, that black symbol, you see it?
See it die.
It says damage dice, multi-stat, bonus type. See that?
Next to damage, I just see 1d8 lightning.
Right, you have to click the magnifying glass.
I'm clicking the magnifying glass.
It says name, Shocking Grasp, damage. Do you see that? Maybe it's only for me as a DM.
Yeah, it's only you.
I see it.
No, I see it too.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, if any of you also have cantrips that, quote, level up.
Okay, I see it now. All right,
yeah,
never mind.
drag a d8 into that dice slot, and then there will be 2, and then it will be permanently upgraded.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Neat trick.
Yes. So please go ahead and do Shocking Grasp yourself. There you go.
I just did. Okay.
Anybody else who has cantrips that have upgraded by virtue of reaching level 5, take care of it, and we are
This
good
is
to
neat.
go.
Cool.
Okay.
Now, since I'm only a magic initiate, that applies to me.
If you reach level 5 and that magic initiate spell would gain power when you reach level 5, it affects you.
Okay.
And what? You
No,
cut
I
out.
just said.
Okay, we'll move on. Tristan, you're up.
I'm going to move 30 feet.
Okay.
Then I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on Yesabroad.
Okay. Troll the dead away.
Ew.
Excellent. Or I'm sorry, not excellent. That's the reverse of what I meant. Bad for you. Sorry, it does not go off. Next up is Ront. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He moves to here. Then Ront uses his bonus action. His bonus action, yep. And gains an additional 30 feet of movement. Plus he had 5, so 10 for here, which gives him 25. So 20, 15, 10, 5. So he manages to make it to here, and then decides to use his great axe to take out the Drow Spore Servant, and succeeds in almost all likelihood. He rolled. Can you guys see what damage he rolled?
1.
Yes, he rolled a 1, and it still killed the Spore Servant. Ah! Cleaves him in half. So, let me see here. Drow Spore Servant is gone. And next up is Spiderbait, who is not going to be nearly as cool or effective. 5, 10, 25, 30. Finishes here, I believe. Let me just do a quick bloop. Yeah, he's within range, isn't he? Yeah, he's within range. Fires a short bow. Misses. And next up is Fargus Rumblefoot. 10, 20, 30. Oh, he can't actually make it up there.
Is that second thing off to the right also a viable path, or?
No, that's a slope.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Fargus has to move to there and stop. Tazarath, you are up.
Finish him.
Finish him. Okay, I'm gonna just chop him to pieces with my hata,
You hit?
hata,
You hit again?
and hata.
All 3 are hits.
And he's gone.
You have to describe the fatality.
Oh, Chris, do you want to describe the fatality?
Oh, I didn't even think this far.
I can do it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Then what I'm gonna do? I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. Right. So Chris slashes 3 times, faster than the eye can see. There's just a glimmer, and then Yesterbrod erupts into ribbons of gore and viscera that spill out as his larval form suddenly deflates like a discarded balloon.
Portobello Ama, anyone?
So at this point, let me grab this, and I'm going to slow down our connection real good. Bloop. There we go. So, now that you have defeated Yesterbrod, and you have a moment to look around, you do hear chanting coming from beyond. However, Ront suddenly points at a heap not far from where the drow woman that was attacking Chris's back had just fallen. There is a pile. It looks like all of her equipment was just lumped over in a corner.
Jackpot, I guess.
Somebody go get it.
You guys can all sort of catch up, move up onto the platform now. Oop.
I click my heels and turn off the boots.
Sure.
I don't want to waste them.
You mean your boots aren't heels?
There we go. Okay, so uh,
Have you tried to run in those? Because I haven't, but I would imagine.
there we go. I'll put that in the background for now. So now that I have this, everybody open up the party sheet and switch to the inventory tab.
Ooh.
So the objects that you have found. Um, Obviously, you don't have time to determine whether any of this is magical or not. There's a short sword, there's studded leather, there's a odd-looking bag, 40 days of rations, 2 drow chain shirts, 2 drow short swords, and a scroll of remove curse and a scroll of spider climb. Um,
Nice.
so
Let's make sure the rations aren't infected by spores.
that is a very wise choice.
Or we should just leave them there.
Purified food and water is a thing, so we should be fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall I just put all of these on one person or what?
I want the bag. I don't know what the bag is, but I want the bag.
It's a bag of holding.
Okay, so Tristan has the bag. What about the rest of it? Anybody call anything in particular? The spell scroll, perhaps, or either of them?
Can't Tristan learn those on the fly too?
Not on the fly. It'll take some money and some time, but potentially.
I think that
Everything does.
I think you can't learn remove curse. I think that's a cleric spell.
Oh.
But we can check on that later. For now, I'm just gonna assign both of them to Tristan because I
Just
can.
toss everything on Ron's back.
You know I can't do that. Everything
That
else
is
is.
actually a wizard spell.
Oh, it is excellent. Well, I'm assigning everything to Melrath. Bob, you gain 2 silver pieces. Please place them in your money pile.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've distributed everything out. We'll deal with it later. For the time being, um, let me remove Yestabrod as well. He should probably be, dead.
And the cloud of spores.
That cloud of spores persists after his death, and it doesn't look super healthy. So you might want to steer clear of that. But
Eh.
well, I mean, you're fine because you've already saved against them. Um, if you save against them, you're immune to them. Anyways,
Awesome.
echoes spill from the misty cavern beyond, a cacophony of wheezing voices that rap together like some kind of discordant music. The remaining heads planted in the Garden of Welcome begin to croak and groan, joining the horrible song. Through the mist that shrouds the smaller cavern, you can see the parade of creatures responsible for the melody. Their bodies are only vaguely humanoid, with clusters of luminescent lichen and tumescent growths forming chaotic patterns on their decaying flesh. Their voices stab into your minds, both insane and gleeful in equal parts. From rocky bed the toadstool rose, from chaos dark her love she shows. Wish, yearn, laugh, the lady will be wed. Crave, hunger, dance, her joyous spores will spread. Youth is gone, beauty rots. Aramacos and Zugtamoy journey together, heart to heart, becoming one till death do part. Hail, hail, hail. And let me grab this.
Again, I'm completely terrified.
And so now I go like this.
I feel like heads in a duffel bag.
And so you become aware of all of these creatures and give
Jesus.
give me just a second. Well, first of all, are you going to fight them or what?
You
Can
got
we
another
roll anything
you
yet?
got another
Or
fireball in there, Snake?
I do, yeah.
Because there are so many creatures, normally what I do is I just let them all sort of be in a similar initiative space, but that would create like a block of death. So if you choose to fight them, then I will roll some initiatives and I'll scatter them about. But you seem
R-
to be vastly outnumbered.
Right, and which is why I was just wondering if we could maybe try and identify what the heck they are before we decide to fight or not. But
Um, Interesting question. I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
We could crash the wedding. I wonder if there's a way we could crash the roof.
He's thinking.
Um, I think that unfortunately, you guys are not necessarily well versed enough to have a sense of what it is that you face. Um, like, when it comes to Zugtamoy, she is a feature of that plane, thus her name stands out. These creatures probably not well known enough to stand out in that way based on their descriptions.
Okay, can we roll to identify the other person's name that she was supposed to marry?
Aramakos? Yes,
Yeah.
history.
Okay. My characters are rolling.
As is mine.
You
Anybody
know.
else? Okay.
Me too.
All right, so it sounds like everyone's gonna roll.
Oh, 20, 24. Wow. I think we got it.
Aramakos is a actually, let me pull up the map so I don't get this wrong. Shit, where did it go? Maps. Maps. Maybe it was under the DM. Okay. Okay. So hang tight for just a second. Aramikos is a particular region among the Underdark, and it occupies that much space. That is approximately 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Hmm.
384 miles across from the furthest point to the furthest point, approximately. So if she is, quote, wedding Aramiko, she would control 384 miles underneath Faerun.
And is it a particular type of topography? Is it like a underground desert, or do you know anything beyond that? Or would we rather?
Um, I'm looking because I'm not quite sure what to add in
184.
here.
That's about the size of PA, isn't it?
It could be. I don't know the size of PA.
How many miles was it?
About 384 miles across.
Oh, no. PA's bigger than that. A little bit.
So it's almost the size of Pennsylvania. And so it looks like I see. So I might be wrong on this because this isn't exactly the entry that I wanted, but Aramikos is an area that is known to be like a lot of the places that you've been so far, there are like worm tunnels that lead through rock. Okay, so you're
Mhm.
traveling along these ancient passages, and then that leads you from one cavern to another. Aramikos is more like a honeycomb. It has massive, massive caverns. There's a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
space in there, and as you sit and think about it, if if fungus is trying to spread here, where there's these tight tunnels and it has these very like specific paths that it has to take, it will take longer to spread. In Aramikos, where there's a lot more open space, it
Mhm.
could simply fill to occupy the container. And then if it did so, it could then burst free into the surface, allowing her roads to assault that.
Hmm. And I was wrong. It's actually bigger than Pennsylvania. I had confused Pennsylvania with Tennessee, but it's actually like kind of halfway in between the lengths of both. So it's pretty
Okay.
big.
Yeah, that's a huge space. So yeah, that's the space, and now you need to make a choice. Will you fight or run? Now, if you choose to fight, you can always choose to run at any point after that as well. It's not like you have to fight to the death just because you said so.
Right, it's not one or the other.
I think Snake should throw a fireball and the rest of us should run.
Well,
That's fair, right?
how about a fireball test, and then we can see if we should be running or not.
Okay,
Sure.
then in that case, I'm gonna have to roll some numbers here, and okay. Well, that didn't help matters.
Are we keeping ours, or are we rolling too?
You're keeping yours.
Okay. Well, that's good. Snake
How
will be-
come? How come there's no groomsmen?
Well, she is a demon queen. Come on, don't.
She was
listen.
marrying a state, basically.
Are you
so.
fucking kidding me?
Whoa.
There we go. There we go. And yeah, this is. It would really help if I could roll a number other than. There we go. That actually doesn't help at all. All right.
Still lower than Snake.
I think what I'm gonna do is.
Excuse you.
Our DM's doctoring
Initiative
rolls.
rolls.
There we go. All right. I made some rolls. Everything looks good to me. Let me just drag the initiative order all the way.
So
back
I'm
up
just
here.
going to use this as an example for when I'm going to cheat later in the game.
I had to spread them out. I tried to spread them out a little bit so they wouldn't just be, like I said, blocks of death, but this is about the best that I could do. So keeping that in mind, now that you get to start, Bob, what will you do? Fight or run?
Can I turn invisible?
Coward!
Yeah, you can actually.
No, I don't have any spell slots.
What is the W?
Those are so I can keep track of what I got from what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw an Eldritch Blast at one of them. Doopy doop doo. I'm assuming that's close enough.
You hit.
Womp womp.
Don't forget, you're level 5 now.
Yes.
Boy, that's a
So,
nice 20-foot
roll
sphere.
an extra. Yeah, roll an extra D10. You needed to modify.
Oh, it's 2 beams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
that means
another
that you can
D10?
actually, yes, but you can also target that blast against a different target now, if you want to. I'm mostly pointing that out for future reference.
Hey, look at that.
Big damage.
Okay, I will update that.
Actually, don't. Here's what I'm going to do. I wrote in the title 2 beams, so now you know you simply cast the spell twice every time you cast it.
Oh, okay. Just
You
in
need
case
to-
I want to.
Right. You need to upgrade Firebolt, Thunderclap, and Toll the Dead. All of
Okay.
those have upgrades to their damage. But for the meantime, let me just
Can you
apply. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Where did? There it is. So if I hold Control. Okay. That went the opposite way than I thought.
Oops.
Yeah, that was
What the
not.
heck?
So somebody that's in the chat right now who's observing our game and commenting has been teaching me how to do stuff, and I can press and hold Control and then apply stuff in the chat box to hit point totals. But in this case, for some reason, it altered it. I think if I go like this, aha!
You killed it.
Yeah, I did. So Control actually heals, but just dragging it applies the damage. This creature is
Oh wait, I
blooded.
killed it.
No, you
Yay.
didn't. You didn't.
Oh.
I was messing with things. You have bloodied the creature.
Good job.
It was close.
It was. It was.
Jeez.
Snake, you are up next.
Yep. Well, you know what I'm gonna do?
Run and flee.
No.
Fireball the party to cover your escape.
Now that you mention it, sorry, I have a level 3 slot. I'm gonna use it.
Go for it. Let's see what happens. Oh, wait, before you do. Now we have to wait because I have to individually grab every single one of these and put them
Sorry.
into your basket.
Don't
I think-
apologize. This is Alex's fault completely.
I think Fireball's kind of broken, personally, but that's just I'm
It
using
is.
the tools available.
It doesn't matter whether it's broken or not. It's cool. And more importantly than that, this is not my fault. This is the game designer's quote unquote fault, if anyone gets fault for this.
It's all your fault.
Now it's going to be really funny because the game is going to slow down significantly while it quickly calculates who did and didn't save. And thank fucking God that we are running this on a computer where it doesn't actually have to be individually determined by me like it would be on a pencil and paper version
Yeah,
of this.
that would be awful.
That would be awful. Now, here's the other thing. I believe that I am individually targeting every single one of these. If it turns out that I have somehow missed one or more monsters with this attempt at targeting, I'm going to do a quick thing just to make sure. Because one of the things I discovered is once a creature is targeted, it can't be targeted a second time, which is great. So that allows me to very quickly check some of my work. It looks like you're all set. Cast your spell.
Okay.
That didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, okay. So who knows how many successes and failures that is. Roll your damage.
Jeez.
Okay.
That took a little bit.
Now watch carefully as the bodies start disappearing.
I feel like it's Vanna White turning over the letters.
The Vanna White of evil. So your fireball streaks across the battlefield, goes through the fungal cloud, streaks across the battlefield, impacts in the dead center of the horrific demonic bride's party, and explodes. Bodies shower in all directions. Chunks of fungus, decaying flesh, lichen smoldering as the massive explosion just rips everything to shreds. Horrifically enough, while the bridesmaids are all in bad condition, every single one of them, the chamberlains are all still fairly healthy despite taking a direct fireball to the face. They do not look happy, but it is now up to the bridesmaids. Now, this is 10 here.
I'm just gonna say that I'm a little concerned about the fireball test and on their hit points. Maybe running would be the best move now.
Well, that will only be determined by Tristan when it becomes his turn.
But don't I get a move action?
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving now.
Yeah, we should kite them down and run like hell.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh. Okay. So at this point, unfortunately,
I tell Ront and Spiderbait to keep their distance from these things.
oh, that's going to be fascinating though. Let me make sure I have the speed correct. 5, 10, 15, 20. She moves to here. And then let me just double check this. 5 feet is it? And this one? 10 foot. Right. Okay. She's unable to attack from here. So next up is a particular Chamberlain.
The one in the far back.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And his... Whoa. That's the wrong dude. 5, 10, 15, 20. He moves to about there. And then Tristan, you're up.
So from what we can see, are they the only ones in this gigantic room?
Well, actually, like the giant mushroom beyond that picture I showed you, like there's a steep drop down to the base of that, and then this thing goes up like 80 feet into the air. It's huge. Um, but mostly what you're able to see is the same plateau that you're on, except over into that space. So there's stuff down around the base as well, but you haven't gotten to the edge where you could get a good look at it.
All right. Well, scorching ray to the face for Chamberlain number closest 2.
2. Okay. Go for it. And I will remind you, if you roll a crit, immediately roll damage, because if you roll any other attacks, it will not calculate a crit. So, okay. And one more. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay. All right. So at this point, let me find the particular chamberman. 1, 2. Where is he on the list? Here he is. Okay. You fire off 2, scorching rays. They impact it. As the creature doubles over in pain from the impacts, the mushroom head deflects the other one off into the cavern. The fires that do explode against the creature cause significant damage. Most of its midsection has been eaten away by flame, and it looks like it might topple over at any moment.
What's the name of this map? Just out of curiosity,
Neverlight Grove.
because I X'd out of the map. Okay, thanks.
And then I'm moving.
Okay. Ront is up.
Run, Ront, run! Oh wait, no. Run, Spiderbait, run!
Oi! He hucks a spear. It hits, surprisingly enough.
Good job, Ront.
Oh, the
Interesting.
javelins that's hucked across the battlefield impacts the mushroom, but the weapon doesn't seem to be as effective as it might normally be. And so it does some damage, but at that point, Ront turns pale and starts to run. 5,
Your
10,
weapons are useless against me.
25, 30. Next up, wait a minute, is that here? Okay. She gets to move 20 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, perfect.
Ooh.
Okay. Then I am going to. Oh, is this 5 feet? Yeah, 5 feet. Okay. So Spiderbait fails and Tazarath succeeds. As the bridesmaid walks forward with perfect poise, she gets to a point, and she gets to a point. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, interesting. Um, so she gets to a point, and then when she stops, she brings her hands up to a that's also interesting. She brings her hands up together like she's gripping what is it? The blossom thing that you throw.
Okay.
Bouquet, thank you. And the bouquet of hallucinating spores ejects from her hands. It explodes out in 5 feet around her. Um, so Spiderbait, having failed, is now poisoned. And while poisoned, he is also incapacitated. Chris managed to succeed on the effect. Can you be poisoned, Chris?
I don't believe so. I think I'm resistant to disease or immune to disease. I don't know about poison though.
Yeah, I don't either.
Divine health. Divine magic flowing through you makes you immune to disease. Okay.
So only disease.
There might be an anti-poison thing later, but yeah, not now.
Okay. So, anyways, the hallucination spores explode outwards, and that's her action. Next is Chamberlain 6, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, I'm sorry. Move her back to about here. Moving back to about here. Nope. Oh, he can't get close enough. Although, let me just check one more thing. 10, 15. Yeah, no matter what yeah, no matter how I do it, it just doesn't work out. Okay. Spiderbait is up. I don't know quite. I think I know what to do. Spiderbait fails against the poison and remains unconscious. Next up is Chamberlain 1 of 10, 15, 20. They're so big they can barely get around each other. Fargus is up.
Wish I had another fireball.
I know, right? Wait a minute. You're a sorcerer.
Yeah, why don't you?
No,
Oh
no,
yeah, yeah, that sorcery point thing that never come into use.
no, never. You can even sacrifice spell slots to deal with that as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, when it becomes your turn, you can absolutely have another fireball. You just have to
Yeah,
sacrifice a little
yeah.
bit for it.
Okay, we're even for you cheating with the initiative now. Thanks.
Yeah.
I just did that to help you out.
At this point, Fargus decides to take advantage of whoa, okay. There we go. Take advantage of the bridesmaid's proximity, and while it's distracted with its attack, he fires off a hand crossbow but misses. At this point, 5. Oh,
Jump over the edge if
yeah, I was thinking about that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He can get to about here. Next up is Bridesmaid 8. So Bridesmaid 8 moves to here, and when she does, she steps into the Chamberlain and vanishes.
Ew.
Then
Does he get healed?
she steps out of the other Chamberlain and advances.
What?
And then once she
That's
makes it
creepy.
to this point,
There's all sorts of shenanigans going on.
okay. So at this point, let me pull up I need a pointer. Circle. Okay. So now everybody within this area is going to get targeted.
Uh-oh.
is she doing more spores?
Yes.
Naturally.
Target. Target. And one more. Actually. No, you're in it. Okay. Good. So at this point, fixer upper success. Who failed? Spiderbait failed. Melrath succeeds. Tazarath fails.
How did I fail?
Well,
Madness.
it,
No, I know how. It's just
yeah, now I'm trying to figure out whether this, actually, I don't think you can be affected. This is a disease. So at this point, um, wait, was that, I have to check something real quick. Oh, unzug to my table. Okay. Now I have to consult the table. My table. Aha!
I must consult with the elder gods.
No. 25. Okay. Um, as the spores rack spider bait, it is having some knowable effect upon him. Now, as for Tazarath, you feel madness attempting to rack at your mind, but your whole unholy resistance to disease prevents it from taking root.
Naturally.
Your infernal blood burns the disease from your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that works. Cool. So, so ultimately, no effect, fortunately for you guys. Next up is Tazareth.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Still
something.
hasted.
Okay. Actually, nah. It's so what I'm gonna. I think the best thing to do in this case would be to grab Spiderbait and run like hell.
Okay.
I think you should fight. You're hasted. Be a man. I'm going to shoot a fireball.
Now, Chris, one of the things that I want to remind the entire party of, and you in particular, is that the way that 5th edition works, it allows you to break up your move however you want. So you can move, attack, and continue your movement because your movement is a pool. Okay? So at the
Okay.
same time, you can also like attack, attack, move, or move, attack, move, move,
Or
etc.
attack, move.
Whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. But you can break it up in all those different ways. So remember that those are options available to you strategically.
All right, I'm going to chop away at Bridesmaid 8.
Okay, I'm just moving her so I can delete this circle. Oops, I
Okay.
deleted the wrong circle. So I'm just going to move this to about here where it was before. I think it was actually here. And then move her back. There you go.
Okay. Right. Time to chop at her.
Okay, so that's a hit. Roll your damage first because you can break up your attacks as well. Okay, so she survives.
Second attack on her.
Hit. Okay. So you've managed to take out that bride. Wait a minute, where is she in the list? Oh, here she is. All right, she's down for the count.
All right. I'm going to use my last attack on Bride 2.
Okay. Are you going
Crit.
to do a normal attack?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check my smite. I think I'm going to stick with a normal attack right.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, what do you have?
I've
Oh,
got one. I've got one first level slot to burn and two.
so one first level slot is 2d8 radiant, and a third level slot is 3d8 radiant.
I say burn the first level. If you think, I mean, I think that might kill her. We really want to kill her.
Can I choose whether or not to do it after I roll the initial damage, or
No,
do I have to?
you have to decide now.
I'll burn it then. Do that. Oh,
Got it. All right. Well, sorry.
well, burned a slot anyway, but whatever. I am going
Your spells
to
are useless anyhow.
Oh,
now
for
that
now,
that's done. Now that that's done, I'm going to grab Spiderbait and run like hell.
you can't. You've used up all your actions attacking. You can still run like hell, but you can't grab him.
He's useless anyway. Don't worry about it. Ront's the only important one.
Rotten Fargus,
He's
perhaps.
Fixer Upper's slave, so that's why he's important.
I still think we're missing out on some great furniture. What was that dude's name? Bupito?
Yeah.
Bupito.
Bupito.
Furniture now.
Wow, you turned into an absolute robot there. Nothing you said could be understood.
understand a second of that.
What? Chris, maybe you should try.
Robots everywhere.
Oh no, it's happening to everyone. What is going on?
So it's not just me.
Better now.
Yeah, might be.
My bandwidth is sucking.
Yeah, I think it's.
Are we all tied to you?
I think that may be the problem.
It sounds like it's clearing up though.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it just died.
All right. Well, the party dies, and we'll just move on from there. No, you could hear that, huh? That's what I thought. You fakers. Anyways, that was Tazarath's turn. I still don't know if you're moving or not. So,
I'm gonna hold the line, I think. Let's see what the other fireball does.
okay. Next up is going to be Chamberlain 2. 5, 15, 20. Once again, he's still out of range. These guys are so fucking slow. Chamberlain 4. There's 4. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then Melrath. You're still here.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my sword at number 2.
You asshole. Throw your
Did
sword.
he say throw his sword?
Yes, he said throw his sword. Now, Eric, for you, I want you to know when you ignite the blade, Dawnbringer, and you wind up and it looks like you're about to throw her. Dawnbringer screams in agony, "No, don't let me go! Don't send me into the darkness!" You can all hear this.
And I throw with disadvantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this?
You'll see. You miss.
Alright, I'll use weapon bottom to get my sword back.
Dawnbringer suddenly slurps back to your hand. She just magnetically is attracted to it. And as soon as you can hear her connect with your hand again, you hear the tail end of some cussing about your beard.
I think
And that's my turn.
Your
Great
sword
turn,
has separation anxiety.
Quality job there, Melrath.
Fixer upper, you are up.
Sword with PTSD. Wonderful.
Worsened by Melrath's actions.
Boy.
I guess I'll do Spirit Guardians, and that way I can sort of hold the line.
Okay. So that's going to affect 15-foot radius?
Yeah, I'll create
A square.
It's a square.
Should be, yeah. I think it technically says cube, but for our purposes, it's a square.
Glorious cubes.
Actually, it doesn't say. It just says 15 feet. Then I'm going to say that that's a sphere, actually. Sorry.
Spear.
How do I delete these things?
Well, first of all, you have to move your body, and then you go to the center point, and then you go to pointers and remove this.
Oh, okay.
And you can create whatever you need to now.
Sphere, okay.
Oh, by the way, Snake being located where he is 5 foot south of being able to see and target creatures on the plateau. I just want to point that out when his turn comes back around.
All right, I guess he'll have to move 5 feet. So it's 15. Was it radius, or for some reason that seems big?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is big.
Yeah, so anything that starts its turn in there is slowed and is going to have to save versus damage.
All right.
So,
All right, so that was my.
that was your action. Are you going to move anywhere?
Yes. I'm just going to move on the other side of here, I think.
Okay. There you go. All right.
All right.
At this point, the final Chamberlain gets his move. 5, 15. No. Yeah, he can't make it any further than here. I don't think so. Let me just double check on this and make sure I understand it correctly. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So we go back to the top of the round. It is now Bob's turn.
Again?
Yeah, it seems that way.
I ain't got shit left. I don't think I've cast this one yet. Let's try this. Floop.
Oh,
Failure.
that's a success for you because he failed.
So that means target. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it takes 1d12. Oh,
Takes
good.
one. Actually, it
It
Yeah,
should be
two.
more.
12,
Yeah.
Yep.
which I think you already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Killed
you
it!
killed it.
Ha!
Good job.
Bob
I just
reaches forward with his
pointed
arm,
at it.
points at the creature, and then twists his wrist as if he's making a movement to shake a bell, and a sudden gong noise tolls on the Chamberlain, and it suddenly explodes, its mushroomy cap raining down around you.
Yummy.
Cool. So next
We need a
up,
clip of the Undertaker's entrance sound.
it might be a little too loud. Snake, you are currently up.
Are you going to leave him on the battlefield?
So does this? I assume that Chamberlain 3 is included in that
Chamberlain 3. Yes.
at the top. Okay, so
Yeah.
they're all in there. All right, then that's what I'll do. Let me explain how I'm creating the spell slot because I don't want to be below ground on anything here.
Right.
So I have 3 points already of Font of Magic,
Okay.
and then I'm going to burn 2 first level spell slots to get 2 more points to get 5, which is what I need for level 3.
Okay.
Just so we're clear on what I'm doing.
Right.
So I'm deleting all the extra points I had there. So now I have 0.
You are the
And
first sorcerer to actually use that ability that has ever played under me.
really?
Yes. It is
I
extremely
didn't
disappointing.
think it was very useful until I realized how important certain spells are.
It's like, why have first level spells when you can
Yeah,
just
exactly.
bombard with fireball? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
if you can turn them into a fireball, then okay, they have use. All right. So I will roll when you're ready.
Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because that one's dead. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Oh, hold on.
What?
Hold on. I don't see 5.
5?
Chamberlain 5.
Chamberlain 5.
Oh,
Oh, sure
I
enough.
already rolled.
Um,
And they all failed their save.
Here's what I would do. Cast the spell and drag it directly onto Chamberlain 5.
Okay.
Oh,
That
wait.
makes sense.
Before you do that, roll the damage for everybody else first.
All right. 33.
Hey, 5 is in here somewhere. Yeah,
Oh, he
he's
is?
in here.
Oh.
Oh, 1 wasn't targeted either.
Oh,
One
so
wasn't
it's
targeted?
1 then?
Oh, okay, so he's the one that you have to target.
Well,
Okay.
1 and 5 weren't
Well,
targeted.
5 took the damage.
5 took it anyway.
Yeah, 5 took the damage, so 1 is the person that needs to be targeted. So just cast on 1. You don't have to use
Okay.
an extra spell slot or anything.
All right.
And don't forget to mark off the spell slot for 3rd on your character sheet.
I won't. As tempting as it is to just forget.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it? One?
Yeah, the one that's green.
Where the hell are you? Wounded. That one?
Yeah.
He's underneath spider bait.
Okay, thanks. Oh,
He
he failed
fails.
too.
Okay, so
They all failed.
roll your damage and drop it right on top of him.
What was?
Whew.
Oh, and I get to change the ones. So there's 2 extra damage on that. Thank
So,
you.
he is bloodied now. Your second fireball lances out, explodes, creates another crater, and just rips through the remainder of the bridesmaids party. So there's only 2 scorched and burning creatures left on the battlefield, groaning. Yeah, so that was extraordinarily effective. That creature.
And that's
All
why we
right.
don't like you, Snake.
Next game, I am not going to play a character that has access to Fireball because it's busted.
It is pretty busted.
But that's the fun.
Well, I mean, Alex had this nice party of scary stuff, and I'm just mowing shit down.
Well, in fairness, like you guys are supposed to save the day, like.
This is true, but I don't know. I feel a little dirty after that one.
Well, no one ever said you had to feel nice.
Okay.
Okay, so Tristan, you're up.
Alex is like, I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, I was just gonna move right past it.
I'm going to use another 2nd level spell slot and blast him with Scorching.
Okay. Choose your targets, and also hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna do a targety thing. So bloop and bloop. Yeah, they're both within 50 feet. Okay, I knew it was gonna be close. Go for it. You can also roll your damage as you're casting to see if you want to keep targeting individual creatures. Okay. Oh, a miss finally.
Which one just moved?
Just moved? Neither of them. The most recent to have moved was Chamberlain 5. Ah, there you go. Chamberlain 5 is now a burnt out husk.
And now that there are less enemies on the field, Tristan is going to move forward.
Okay. Ront is up next.
Finish him, Ron.
Yeah, Ront runs back up to here. And then, oops. He can't use that ability. That's interesting. He has to move it toward a hostile creature. Okay. So he moves to there, and then Spider Bait gets a save. And continues to fail his save. Fortunately, he was not needed. Finally, Chamberlain number 1 is up. 5, 10, 15, 20. And
So you
that's the
rolled
best
into
he
my
can do.
zone?
He did move into your zone, so he needs to make a save. So can you drop your save effect on top of him?
Sure. I just dropped save, not cast?
Cast is fine.
Okay.
He fails. So roll your damage.
I can choose Radiant or Necrotic. I think I'll choose Radiant. I'm not that kind of guy.
I am.
A host of angels appears out of nowhere, out of the mists of your spirit guardians, and shreds him. He is now a pile of viscera and
Well, at least he got within range.
fungal fragments. So at this point, yeah, Spider Bait is unconscious, but you guys have actually defeated the wedding party. I'm gonna delete this just so we don't get confused.
Imagine if Fireball was not involved. I mean, I think it might have been tough, actually.
So
but...
here's the question though: do you guys want to press forward and see what lies in the chamber beyond, or run for it?
We've gotten this
Well,
far.
guys,
Yeah,
the
we may as
first
well.
First thing I'm going to do is apply a dose of Kyoktum's ointment on Spiderbait.
Okay, so you move him out of the fungal cloud, and I will remove the effects upon him.
The only thing that I'm worried about is our lack of spell slots right now. But
Okay, so but do you guys need to vote on it, or do you just want to do what?
I say we go forward.
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Bat, I
Okay.
choose you. Scout for us.
Well, we
Oh,
have
that's
the
a good
bat token.
idea. Yeah, send the bat.
You have no clear reference to judge the towering mushroom's size at this distance. Thousands of smaller fungi cling to the main stalk, which itself splits into several lesser stalks, each long enough with a cap big enough to be the top of a great tower. The cavern floor surrounding the stalk is covered by a carpet of fungi. An eerie luminescence pours through slitted windows carved into the trunk, with the same cacophony of atonal music heard earlier echoing within. The stench of rotten decay wraps around you, seemingly threatening to penetrate your flesh and pervade your soul.
Hmm.
Um, there are scores of deformed creatures dancing around the base of the fungal tower. Um, they are all sporting tumors, cankers, and putrid patches of flesh all over their body. And um, it looks like those creatures were once drow and hook horrors.
Hook horrors are pretty tough, if I remember correctly.
Plus, there's scores.
Yeah, also because I can see it looks like there's about 4 or 5 of each, drow and hook horrors. They're all infested with the spores. Now, up here, you can see that there's actually an entrance all the way down there um, into this giant mushroom. And so you would have to descend all the way down the steep cliff, of which there is no ramp up or down, and then enter the fungus from here and find whatever persists within. So, what's your verdict?
Um,
I think we got to figure out some way to bring down that.
Right. So the shroom in question is you're trying to bring down something whose stalk is a bit bigger than the Washington Monument in terms of like base area.
Yeah, we
how
might not
much?
have the tools with us to do that.
No, you would probably need some explosives.
How much time do we have before we get to that point that what's his name told us to be ready for?
Oh, you mean the following morning in the ceremony in the garden?
Yeah.
Um, well, actually, time is sped up significantly because of combat, so you've probably got a good 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
That's enough time to get a good head start if you choose to take that path.
I think Alex is trying to tell us something.
Check to explore and X to retreat.
Who voted X? I just want to hear their explanation.
So we've dealt with a handful of party guests. This is far from. This is clearly a much bigger affair than we had prepared. We could crash the party and do some damage, but I think this is bigger than we're able to deal with at the moment.
I'm
Plus,
worried.
we're all.
I'm
Plus,
worried
we're all
about the spell
exhausted.
slots.
Yeah,
So-
same.
X is to retreat, by the way.
All right. Well, I guess we're outvoted.
Okay. So at this point, those guys. Wait, they didn't plop into this.
Well,
one.
we know who to blame, Chris.
Why did it not go in here? Oh, I see. Okay, so now I just have to place these things on the battlefield. This is going to be a little awkward because you can't really see the base. Of the tower.
Maybe those will have something else that we can go up and touch.
Yeah. Anyone want to vote on whether or not they think there's going to be more explosive fungal clouds? And there. So those are the dancers. These are the ones that you can see. There may be more on the other side. And you also need to descend 10 feet down into the space below, the cavern floor.
We can't shoot them from the cliff face.
Not everybody has ranged options as I remember it.
I can give somebody a spare longbow I've been carrying around.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, regardless. Ooh, okay. Option. Where is that option? You guys can. We're going to keep your current initiatives. So that actually means that I'm going to take this back to the start of the round. And Bob, you're the first act.
Not to be a party pooper, but it's nearing 9 o'clock.
That's
If
true.
not already.
It's 9:01.
Do you mind
should
if we
probably
stop?
just yeah.
Yeah, I got some other things
Yeah,
to
we can restart and we'll get all our spell slots back, right? That's how it works.
Nope, nope, nope.
I've got a fireball addiction. You
Well, I
did this to
mean,
me.
here's the other thing, and we are about to stop, but just as a final piece, you could potentially take a short rest if you don't think these creatures will climb out of the pit and gut you while you do so.
How long is a short rest?
An hour.
Hmm.
A short rest would give Kyle all of his spell slots back. It would give Tristan some of his spell slots back. It wouldn't do anything for Snake, Melrath, or Tazarath, or the Fixer-Upper. I mean, the only thing it would do is like give you hit points back, but you guys aren't really down anything.
Hmm.
I always have the alarm spell, and that's a ritual.
Yep, so he could spend 10 minutes to cast alarm in an area, and if anything comes through it, you would be aware. You would, however, have to also camp near this Garden of Welcome with all those faces looking at you.
I mean, with a name like that, how can you not feel welcome?
You should probably just lay right down in it.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? We could
What's
get sent to a different part of the map,
abyss.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, do you want to try this short rest thing? Because if we do it now, then it'll just be ready for next time, and we can call it quits.
Well, do all of us need to do it? Because some of us don't really get anything out of it, so we could be
Technically,
watching.
you all well, yes, you can choose to watch, and the people that short rest will short rest.
Okay, well,
Okay.
that's fine by me because my characters get nothing out of it, so we'll just watch.
Yeah,
I'll go back here and rest.
short rest. Now,
I'm wary of spending any more time in this spore-filled cavern than, even though I'm less susceptible.
okay, so Tristan, you know how your short rest affects you. You get to click off which spell slots you get back based on how that divides up.
I'm gonna get back a 3rd level spell slot.
Okay.
Who did anyone else get spell slots back? I thought someone did.
Bob,
I
but
got mine
he
back.
just gets all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all 2 of
I
them.
All
only
right,
have
you're gonna have
two.
to carry. You're gonna have to carry us in the next fight.
But he
I only
has
have 2.
yeah.
Jeez.
Throw
me a fireball. I'll toss it their way.
Wait a minute, did I do that right? It's 3d8 and then a spell slot higher. Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Um, cool. So now that that's all taken care of, so here's what ends up happening. You continue to hear the mad cacophony from beyond. Um, huh. Okay, so according to this, it turns out that down below, and not initially seen, was Sovereign Philo, and
Hmm.
he is cheering at the success of bringing so many new guests to attend the party. Um, as you guys keep watch, the there is a form rising up out of the fungal muck. It is another drow scout that joins the cacophony. So more and more bodies are rising up out of this. And I'm just going to add an extra drow so that we can deal with that next time. Grab this, goes into here, and then I put him here, and then make sure he's visible. Cool.
Is
And
Evil Spore Man marked on here?
Sovereign Philo. That's a very good question. For some reason, he does not have an entry.
Hmm.
That's funny. Um, nah, I won't mess with it right now. So that's it. That's it. Thank you guys so much for playing. We're gonna stop the stream right there.